hGlobal TV subscribe.
Global community, what's the deal? What we own? Today I got another non-mainstream media compilation put together. We're gonna go down these rabbit holes and figure it out as a collective. Let's get to it. Drop them globes in the chat. Bang that.
Because they call you a witch.
Okay, and what's the problem?
I guess with the branding and ever since like storybooks or fables, any storybook that I can remember in school, witches were bad.
Yeah, that's what they teach you. Yeah, so you don't tap into your power. I mean, why would I tell you that I'm doing a spell on you? I'm going to tell you that spells are bad, so that I can do it on you. That's how I feel like society manipulates people, because it's been sensationalized. Like, oh, witchcraft is bad, witchcraft is this, but they're doing witchcraft on you. So yeah, we're all.
Like, how explain that? Who is who?
The government.
The government's doing witchcraft on people.
Yeah, our money has sigils on it.
Please elaborate, please. I've heard of something like that, but I just be like, here go the wormhole YouTube.
Yeah, we can go before we go down the wormhole, but I'll give it like a surface level.
Go ahead.
So if you look at the dollar, first of all, it's a dead president on it. It's an ancestor off the rip, right? So when you look at the different pyramids and certain like lines and how they print their money, it's all a spell. It's all a ritual, right? So every time you touch money, even psychologically, when you're thinking about money, it is all outlined to you. Subliminal, everything you watch is subliminal when you think about it. Your music is subliminal, the 808s, all the beats, everything. They are 100% controlling us. Yes. So if you know that you're being controlled, now you can't be controlled anymore. But if you don't know, they can continue to control you. And that's what's happening. So, and that's what I meant by people that are manipulated by media, by what they're seeing on TV, by their music. If they don't know that they're being manipulated, it works. If they're awakened and protected from it, it does not. That is enslaved and know he's a slave will revolt. The slave that doesn't believe that he's enslaved, the slave that thinks that he's being helped, he's being manipulated, will always remain a slave. He's never going to revolt. That literally happens today, all the time.
Give me an example.
Okay, so what I meant by the media, right? Okay. Yeah. When people think of success, they say, okay, I need to go out, I need to buy a mansion, I need to buy Maybach, I need to do this, I need to do that. That is not really what they want. That's what they're being told they want. So they will really be a slave, like going to work 9 to 5, doing this, doing that, not saying nothing wrong with 9 to 5. Exactly. What I mean is, if that is not your gift, that is not your calling, you're just doing it to get what looks like success, you are being manipulated. Right. And you are a worker for these big corporations that do not have to work now. Because you've already went through school, which basically is either a pipeline for you to be a worker, or you're going to prison, Listen to this real quick. Schools, the cafeterias look exactly like the cafeterias in a prison.
As much as I don't support witchcraft and talk against it, I can't deny that this witch is speaking facts. While I might not agree with what this woman does for a living and what she's involved in, what she is saying about the elites is all facts. The elite have definitely put the masses under one big spell. They have the masses completely controlled using ancient forms of witchcraft and occult knowledge. She is also correct about money being used as a spell on people, bringing up the occult symbols found all over the dollar bill. The fact that the dollar bill has pictures of dead presidents on them, presidents that were all
shit's getting weird.
Now we will be foolish to not believe in what the billionaires believe 105% wholeheartedly. They protect their energy, their vibration. So when I say that, it is not to be taken lightly.
Weird.
Y'all see the turtle shell? Look at the helmet. Don't that resemble Master Shredder? Who are they fighting against? I wonder. Look at that helmet. Doesn't that look like Master Shredder again?
before that symbol was demonized by the double H man, it obviously held some esoteric knowledge. Kanye must have knew something.
Should make you think, don't it?
I, Larson Anders.
The other side is far more.
Individual.
Right.
And I see a lot of people just be sitting back waiting on a Messiah. They're waiting on that one person.
But they are too, though.
Who's that?
The other side is far more diligent about looking for that Messiah because they know where to look.
My book, Columbus and the Quest for Jerusalem, is about the reasons behind his plan to sail west to go to the Orient. And of course he was going to get gold, everybody knows about that. He was going to meet the Grand Khan of Katt to set up a trading post to trade for gold and spices that was going to finance a crusade to take over Jerusalem. And in fact, it wasn't just to mount the crusade to take Jerusalem. That was part of a whole apocalyptic scenario. And that was only the first step, because in order for Christ to come again before the end of the world, Jerusalem had to be in Christian hands, the temple had to be rebuilt.
But E.E. Calloway is content, for he has found the Garden of Eden. Well, Mr. Calloway, you say that this is the Garden of Eden. There it is.
I think about in the center of the garden, north and south. The Garden of Eden, east and west, is not over 10 miles wide, paralleling the river from Chattahoochee down to Bristol. But you're right in the center of it here at Torrey State Park, north and south, between Chattahoochee and Bristol.
Well, now, according to the Bible, the Garden of Eden must have trees pleasant to the sight, and it must have gold and onyx stone and a river of 4 heads. Is this one of the rivers?
This is the Pison River, which is mentioned in the 2nd chapter of Genesis, when it says, a river went out of Eden to water the garden and parted and became into 4 heads. The tree life from Chattahoochee to Bristol is the largest of any other area in the world. The Bible names 28 trees. The best authority on earth have identified 27 of them here, and many, many more, including the gopherwood tree. The Bible names those 4 river heads as the Pison, the Gihon or Gihon, the Hiddekel, and the Euphrates. The first one was the Pison. The Bible says that is it that compasseth the land of Havilah, which was North Florida, before the flood. The Bible says that is it that compasseth the land of Havilah, which was North Florida, before the flood.
As with many stories that have cropped up in the last 10 to 15 years, this one starts with something named Chan. In this case, not 4chan or Chris Chan, but rather Chan Thomas, full name Chauncey Powers Thomas, born in 1920 in Clay, Missouri. He did contribute a very specific document, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, about how the CIA censored something. Prior to releasing a document he titled The Adam and Eve Story, Chan got an electrical engineering degree from Dartmouth, his master's from Columbia, and then went on to get a further degree at Harvard. Now, Thomas worked for a contracting firm that worked with the United States Air Force back in the 1960s. As the story goes, the Adam and Eve story was published by Emerson House in 1965, but was immediately seized and censored by the CIA. It was banned from circulation, and the whole idea of them censoring this book has become its own conspiracy theory as to why they did it at all, let alone what censoring a book at the federal level does to conspiracy theories, because now everybody assumes that there's something really, really important in that book that the government does not want people to know. To make it clear here that a lot of websites, a lot of conspiracy theories suggest that this is in fact a CIA document that was classified. That's not the case. This was an outside document that the CIA in some way classified. We don't know precisely what. It's unclear to what extent they said you can't publish this. It was an outside source that they then said, hey, nobody can be allowed to find this.
According to this document, they knew that all of the biblical places was in North and South America, and that the world flood started in America. Remember what the elders said.
The Bible says, that is it that compasseth the land of Havilah, which was North Florida, before the flood.
For that 3-letter agency to take that book and classify it, that is nefarious to say the least. Imagine you writing a book, let's just say a school report. Let's just say you wrote a school report, something minimal. And whatever you said in that paper, the CIA says, nah, you can't turn this in. Nobody can read this. What is in that book?
And North Georgia, right where this great river has its source, the Tate Marble Quarry and Company there, Tate, Georgia, is one of the largest. So the natural monuments, definitely mentioned and described in the Bible as being related to the Garden of Eden, are here, and they are not anywhere else on this earth.
Not only are we sitting in the Garden of Eden, but we're also sitting in an area where you say Noah built the ark.
Noah built the ark out of gopher wood, which God selected himself for him to build it out of.
Is this the only place that you know of?
This is the only place on this earth where it has ever grown.
So Noah built the ark out of gopher wood.
That is a fact. When they was saying that, all of that recalled in my brain.
Do you know that tree only grow in Florida, bro? I did my research. It don't grow nowhere else.
The liar knows what lie he told. And so even if I made it deceitful and I made you think that the answer is over here, but the answer is really over here, I'm still going to be looking over here. Me, the one that tricked, because I know this is the right answer.
The Kingdom of Judah was in Utah. The best-selling book When Rocks Cry Out by Horace Butler has already demonstrated that Peru was Jerusalem and that the Kingdom of Judah is in Utah. The strange thing about the description of the Kingdom of Judah given in Deuteronomy chapter 34 is that all these biblical place names can be found in Utah, such as Manasseh, Utah, Mount Nebo, Utah, Mount Pisgah, Utah, Jericho, Utah, South Gilead Way, Utah, Ephraim, Utah, Daniel, Utah, Nephi, Utah, short for Naphtali, Moab, Utah. Many other biblical names are found in Utah, such as Goshen, Utah, Jordan Salt Lake, which could possibly be the real Dead Sea. There is a mountain in eastern Nevada named Mount Moriah, and it's over 12,000 feet high. In Utah, not only is there a river Jordan, but it runs out of a freshwater lake and into the Great Salt Lake, which is remarkably like the Dead Sea. There is also a Mount Nebo in Utah, approximately 12,000 feet high. So yes, with evidence this strong, the real Judah was possibly in Utah. Now, people often try to say that it was the Mormons that gave these places names in Utah, biblical names to support their position as Jews. However, this explanation fails miserably because there are no 12,000 feet high mountains in modern-day Jerusalem. Therefore, the real Judah, or Israel, has to be in Utah, because it fits the description of the Kingdom of Judah perfectly.
Black people have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity.
Do you remember the Gospel of Matthew?
The greatest trick in history is that even if we knew word for word, verbatim, exactly what was going on in the truth, we wouldn't be able to confirm it. That was the greatest rug pull ever done.
Epstein won a $84 million Powerball in 2008 at the bottom of the market. And that's not allegedly, he did. So he basically got to buy the stock market at the all-time low and probably made a few $100 million on this. This was a CIA payout.
You study like Statue of Liberty. That's a dude, bro. It is a cross-dresser. Statue of Liberty is an old Zoroastrianism god called Mithras. Let me see the face. That's it right there. That's Mithras. Damn, that does look top good, one, dude. That's Mithras. Look at the jaw. Look at the arm. It does not look like a feminine arm. Look at the hand. Boy, that looks like a dude. Holy shit,
Well, you experience a couple of the parties, and then I wanted to get out of there after. It's a dark Super Bowl. I'm going to tell you something. The Super Bowl every year is the most insane. It's not talked about. It's the most insane party time of the year.
It really is, and we've partied a lot of like cool places.
It's dark as fuck, and you see some shit that you wish you didn't see.
All right, this story gets crazier as it goes on. Every day something wild happens. All the way from like the Silence of the Lambs feeling of the press conferences to we didn't have any security footage to now we have all this ring cam footage. And why is TMZ receiving emails from somebody saying that they know who the kidnapper is, but they want 1 Bitcoin in order to tell, like, First of all, if you're not the kidnapper, but you know who the kidnapper is, why wouldn't you just want to bring this lady home? Clearly, you're in on it. But then on top of that, the email also states that they've been trying to reach Savannah, her brother and her sister, instead of Savannah. That doesn't make sense. But if you watch the interviews where Savannah's talking about her mother, her brother and her sister look suspect. I'm just going to leave that there. Personally, I don't know. I hope this lady comes home safe and sound. But personally, I feel like somebody close to the family or even in the family had something to do with it.
Honest with you, dude, like most kids should not be waking up at the time they're waking up to go to school, right? I mean, so many kids are waking up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. They have an hour-long bus ride. Then they get there. And if you're an adolescent, I don't think anything could be worse, right?
Right now, of course, Savannah and her family are in unspeakable, unfathomable pain. We know in the U.S. that her extended family is legion. Savannah, my friend, it's the same way here.
Did y'all see that? That was weird, right? Why'd she say that word?
Like on the Olympics.
Looks like we might have figured out what they're doing with all.
I don't understand why somebody would kidnap an 82-year-old lady. That would be an extreme hassle, wouldn't it? There's something strange going on. There's a strange narrative. Y'all let me know what y'all think is going on.
The meats after they expire. Check this out. This is an old sirloin, and they've cut it up and re-seasoned it, and it looks terrible. And it goes bad tomorrow, and it's still $10. If you think that's ridiculous, give me a follow and leave a comment. Look what some other people are saying, what they do with all the expired meat. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what they're doing with it, but I'd like to see your comments and hear what you think. Leave me a comment and give me a follow.
You know Simon Cowell? He had a weird ass video talking about Pizzagate, and everybody's looking into it like, what the fuck? Look, watch.
Pizza Land, Pizza Margarita. Now, Pizza Land doesn't exist anymore. If anyone can find me the recipe, I'll pay you $1,000.
Do you bag what he's trying to say, right? Because they don't run the island anymore. But he's
Pizza Land doesn't exist anymore. Where the hell is Pizza Land? Little St. James Island? What the freak?
He still wants to
eat the pizza.
The pizza.
Oh, yo.
That's crazy.
What's the context of that video?
Because he was trying to get like the people that know the code to help him out and then get him. This is an older video when Ellen was still talking like the pizza stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is pizza like always featured in like children's cartoons? Like, is there like a correlation between that?
And they always make it look really tasty.
They're really tasty all the time.
Yo, remember that episode of SpongeBob? The Krusty Krab pizza?
Yeah.
Remember when they open the pizza and they're looking at it, it's like, and they're looking at it like sexually, and then like the look on their faces is like really lustful.
Yeah, and like they're licking their lips and all that stuff.
Put him in a vat of water and he finds his way to safety every time.
5.2.
Now, look at this guy. What he's been eating is the equivalent of a North American diet, complete with all the fats and sugars we regularly consume. He doesn't know where to go. His brain has been damaged.
These rats were totally normal, and then they turned into demented animals. They don't remember their learning after even a day. And as the challenge gets harder and harder, they fail more and more, just like a human with Alzheimer's disease.
I've interviewed a ton of politicians. Nothing they say they're going to do happens. No new wars. Here we are, one year in. Venezuela, Ukraine, Iran, Gaza, Ukraine-Russian war will be done before he ever takes office. Epstein files.
We're going to release them all.
Yeah, black lines over everything. In less than 1%.
At one point in time, we're going to release the Epstein files. Then it was, well, they don't actually exist.
Yeah.
Well, you just last week said they were on your desk.
I had a bunch of influencers go to the White House and hold up a bunch of binders.
People ask me, what do you think about the Epstein files? I'm like, non-event at this point in time. There's been so much water under the bridge that even if they release everything they have, I can't believe that's it anymore. Hell, I can go on Photoshop and make whatever you want.
He redacted all of the abusers' names.
Yeah, right.
Not sure if y'all are aware of this, but if you get food stamps starting on 2/18/26, no longer allow customers to use SNAP benefits to buy soda, energy drinks, or candy. I'm just letting y'all know.
We may need to break out our heads for this one. Look familiar yet?
That's crazy.
Not terribly strange, but then there's this one with Andy who all many say resembles him. And after eating his little candy friends, they end up on the red carpet. Then there's this one that got my mind spinning. We're already off to a not-so-great start.
Another day, another Ritz party. Why didn't they invite us?
Well, we're salty. We hate parties, mingling, yapping.
An island party in which only certain people attended, making these guys salty. It's time to keep looking deeper. Keep your heads ready, friends. Will we ever find the bottom of the rabbit hole? Nobody knows. The more we dig, the deeper it goes.
That's a perfect way to end the video, man. I'm gonna keep bringing y'all this non-biased, non-mainstream media. We're gonna keep divulging in all this information. We're gonna figure it out as a whole. One person doesn't know it all, but as a collective, we're gonna figure it all out. That being said, I'm your humble host, Cash $sign for the S. I'm gonna keep dropping this knowledge. All money ain't good money. Slow motion better than no motion.